welcome to the WIC Kitchen. I'm one of the dietitians that works here, and today we're going to be doing the infant cereal pancakes. This recipe is perfect for 9 months old or older. It's a good finger food. A little disclaimer, if your child is 6 months of age, still doing puree foods, not really doing table foods, this probably isn't the best recipe for you guys at the moment. This is for a little bit older, 9 months or older, have really good pincher skills, so that's like picking things up and bringing them to their mouth, having really good chewing and swallowing skills. Alright, so now that disclaimer is done, let's jump into the recipe. It is a fairly simple recipe ingredient-wise. It's just 4 ingredients: a banana, infant cereals, eggs, and infant puree foods. I chose this recipe because I wanted to show an inventive way to use some of the WIC foods, so the WIC cereals and the jar foods that are put on your food package when the infant turns 6 months of age. Alright, so step 1, we're going to take our ripe banana. To know that a banana is ripe, you want it to be completely yellow. For this recipe, it is okay if it has a few of those little brown spots on there. We're just going to peel it. I like to peel mine from the wrong end, people say, so you'll have to let me know when you submit the form which way that you like to peel your bananas. Alright, so I'm just going to break it in half, put it in the bowl, and then we're going to mash it using a fork. So as you can see, we're just going to take it and we're just going to mash it. So you want to use a ripe banana because it's going to be a little bit sweeter in taste, and that's what's sweetening the pancake. So if it still has a little bit of green and it's not ripe, it's going to kind of not have that nice sweetness that a banana is supposed to have. All right, so it's nice and mashed. You kind of want to get it to about this consistency right here. This aside. Now we're going to measure out 1/4 cup of the cereal. For this recipe, we're using rice cereal, but you are able to use any cereal that you have in the pantry. It doesn't have to be the rice cereal. Alright, so I'm going to pour it over a piece of parchment paper. It's going to be 1/4 of a cup. Oops. So you are going to want it to be level. So one way that you can make it level is by taking the straight edge of a butter knife and kind of rubbing off of the top of it. Then you have a nice 1/4 cup. We'll add that to our mashed bananas. And then for the excess, we can just go ahead, see if I can do this neatly here. And put it back in there so we are not wasting any of our ingredients. Alright, last but not least, we are just going to take 1 egg and crack it and put it into our banana and rice cereal mixture. Alright, so now you're going to mix the ingredients together. Alright. This is what the finished mixture looks like together. You can kind of see it right here. Alright, so to cook them, you can either use a griddle if you have one of those, or a skillet on the stove top. You do kind of want to watch them because they can cook pretty fast and kind of burn on the bottom. So it's not something that you can kind of put on and walk away. So unfortunately, you kind of have to stand there and watch it. But it can be done either on the stovetop or on the griddle. So we are going to use the non-stick spray, because if you don't, it can stick to the bottom. So it's just nice, makes life a little bit easier for you. And for the griddle, I have ours set to 375, and if you're going to use the stovetop, you want it to be on like a low medium heat. Alright, so when you're cooking them on the griddle, you can make them as big or as small as you would like. We're just going to do a little spoonful here. Just remember when you're feeding it to your infant that you're cutting it into nice bite-sized pieces for them. So try to get some nice little even pancakes here. So while these are cooking, I do kind of want to talk about eggs with you guys. It is one of the allergen foods, so we did put in one of the eggs into this recipe. So if it is your first or your second time introducing eggs to your child, just maybe make sure, see if they have a reaction to it. Research does show that you are able to introduce eggs to an infant that is less than a year old. You just want to do it with caution. So there are some allergic reaction signs that you want to look for. It can be skin, so any hives or rashes that they're not used to, don't normally have, stomach issues, so cramping, diarrhea, vomiting, even congestion. So if they start to have a runny nose or maybe sneeze or start to have the sniffles, that's a sign that you should be looking for. And you should also be looking for like asthma related symptoms, so maybe shortness of breath or wheezing or something along those lines. If your infant does show signs, I would contact the doctor immediately, let them know what's going on. If you are nervous to start introducing eggs to your child, you can either call the WIC office and we can talk to you about it, or you can speak to your doctor. So let's take a look to see how these are doing. Not quite ready. We want them to have a nice golden brown on the bottom. So this recipe is also a really nice one to have your older kids help you with it. They can pretty much help you with any of the ingredients section, besides probably don't want them on the griddle or on the stove top, but they can help you mash the banana, crack the egg, even measure out and do the leveling off of the knife. So it's just really great to get the whole entire family into the kitchen and have them learn from you. And so if you haven't done that yet, maybe you can start with this recipe. So this has a nice light golden brown color, so that's kind of what you want the finished product. So I flipped this one already, and we're kind of waiting on the other two to see how they are. So I'm just gonna check it. All right. Not the most coordinated, but there we go. Looking good. This one here. Just gonna flatten it out here to make sure it's kind of cooking all the way through. Don't want them too thick. There we go. Now we wait again. Alright, so these are still cooking here, so we're gonna just check the bottoms and see how they're looking. Flip it over for you guys so you can see. Not doing too bad. Might leave it on the other side a little bit longer. That one looks good. I think this one needs to be flipped back over for an extra time. There's not really an exact science to it. Just kind of make them of how you feel like they're ready and done, and the way that you like them to look on the top. All right, I think they might be done and ready to plate. We'll flip back over and see. Yep, that one's good. That one is good. That one could use maybe a little bit more time if you wanted, but I think it might be good for right now. So to top them, we will be using the baby food purees. We are going to be using peach today, but you can use any of the flavors that your infant likes. Maybe even do some savory ones against the sweetness of the banana. It might be really good, nice contrast. But I decided to pick pears when I was at the grocery store. Alright, so let's put them on the plate here. And something that you can also do is maybe once you put them cut them into the nice bite-sized pieces. Instead of topping it with it, you could put it on the side and your infant can dip the pancake in there. And there's also a nice skill that they can start to learn along with using their hands. And then also it's a good one to start practicing the spoon as well. So just going to take it here and nice top it off. The baby puree is a nice alternative to syrup. Syrup can have a lot of sugar in it. So this is a little bit extra nutrients for them. Alright, I think the last step is to enjoy it. So remember to fill out the form underneath the video for us to know that to get credit for your WIC. We love to hear how you're going to be using this information in your everyday life. And I hope that you can bring this recipe to your kitchen soon.